Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, hope you're doing amazing. My name is Carl Sandermo and I am here to react for you today, my friends. We are going back to check out some more Swagkage. Oh yes, Swagkage it is today. It was a while ago since we did the last Swagkage video and I did enjoy his video. I thought it was pretty cool. This video is called 5 More Busted Naruto Jutsu. So, I guess that there are some jutsus, in his opinion, that are, well, kind of busted, I guess pretty OP. When I think about OP jutsus from Naruto, I guess... what was the jutsu called that Kabuto used during the war, where he resurrected a lot of people? The reanimation jutsu. Yeah, that was just stupid. Like seriously, you can't just resurrect like the first Hokage, like all the Hokages and pretty much everyone that has died from the Akatsuki and everything like that. That is pretty. I mean, it's pretty stupid actually, and it's pretty OP. So I mean, that has to be there. I think that the Shadow Clone Jutsu is pretty OP as well, at least if you have as much chakra as Naruto has, because at the end of the series he was able to produce like 1,000 Shadow Clones, and only one Shadow Clone was able to defeat the 4th Raikage, I think it was, or maybe the 3rd Raikage. I can't remember which Raikage, so that's pretty OP as well. I can't remember if there is any else, but hey, let's just start the video and see what he said. But if he doesn't mention the reincarnation jutsu or whatever it's called, then I will be quite surprised. Alright? Let's go, guys.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Swagkage here, and welcome to today's video.
Thanks,
so,
man.
One of the most popular videos on my channel, and this has basically been the case since I first uploaded it, is a video I made a few years back talking about really busted, unfair Naruto jutsu. Now, personally, I don't think it's that great. I think I've gotten a lot better at making videos since then, but nonetheless, a lot of people have been asking for a sequel to it for a really long time.
As well.
Now, fortunately for everybody who was a fan of the first video, Naruto has no shortage of stupid, wacky nonsense, and so it wasn't hard for me to track down 5 more jutsu that I think are absolutely ridiculous. Maybe not to the same extent as the ones I mentioned in the first video, but for one reason or another, they're all still pretty crazy.
Alright. Number 5. Lightning Release Chakra Mode.
So some of you may be a bit surprised that this is on the list. Maybe you associate the jutsu with the 4th Raikage and don't remember the 3rd all that well. But the 3rd Raikage is who we're going to be focusing on here. Because this is sort of a Yamato Hashirama situation, though it's not quite as extreme, where we're introduced to a technique through one person, and then we later find out that there's a dead person who is way better at using the technique than the first person was. And that'd be totally fair. It's still a pretty scary jutsu in the hands of the 4th Raikage, but I only think it's worth putting on this list because of what we know the 3rd Raikage could do with it. So to briefly explain how the jutsu works, a user conducts electricity through their body, and this increases their speed, allows them to hit harder, and it creates an aura of lightning release chakra around their body that acts as a shield. A few of you may be wondering why I didn't mention any drawbacks, and that's because, there aren't any. This jutsu boosts your strength, your speed, and your defense, your 3 most important physical attributes, without negatively impacting any of them. And it would be one thing if these boosts were minor, but they're not. They're not at all. As a matter of fact, they're pretty fucking enormous. I know I don't need to tell anybody this, but both the 3rd and the 4th Raikage are really, really fast, and they're also known for hitting extremely hard. According to Darui, nobody before Sasuke had survived the 4th Raikage's Liger Bomb, and he's significantly weaker than the 3rd Raikage. This guy, on the other hand, is able to kill multiple people at the same time with just a jab. Like, look at this. This was the result of him dashing forward and just poking somebody. This is ridiculous. The thing that gets me the most about this jutsu is with it, you're already going to be moving so fast that nobody's going to be able to hit you, and even if they do, your attacks are so strong and so devastating that you're probably going to be able to kill them anyway before they can do any serious damage to you. But for some reason, the 3rd Raikage thought to himself, hey, you know what this jutsu's missing? It's not an indestructible shield. shield yet. And when I say indestructible, I don't mean really hard to penetrate. I mean you are absolutely 100% never breaking through this shield unless you have like 6 pads powers or something. And if you think I'm exaggerating, lightning's natural elemental weakness is wind. And so you'd think that a wind release jutsu, at least a strong enough one, would be able to crack through the shield, right? Well, no.
Yeah, I
Temari
guess.
and a bunch of other wind release users all hurled big ol' wind blast straight at the third Raikage, and he just stood there and it didn't affect him. Then Naruto showed up, and the first thing he did was throw a Rasen shuriken at this guy, and he dodged it twice. And then Naruto finally manages to line it up so that it smashes into him, and it doesn't do anything anyway. So even if by some miracle you're able to hit him while he's whizzing around the battlefield at lightning speed, it doesn't matter. It's probably not even gonna scratch him. It's not even like it takes a toll on his stamina either, because he was able to fight 10,000 ninja by himself for 3 days straight before finally collapsing and dying. I imagine he didn't have any food or water either. 10,000 angry enemy ninja probably wouldn't let him stop to eat a sandwich or whatever, so it certainly doesn't tire him out. Like I said, it feels like the jutsu has no drawbacks.
Yeah, okay. But is there really a lot of jutsus that has drawbacks though?
Now, I know I'm kind of cheating here like I did when I put wood release as a whole on the last list, but to be fair, we don't really see that many particle-style jutsu in the series.
No,
as a matter of fact,
only 2 people used it,
and both of them are basically the same thing. But anyway, my reasons for thinking it's just a little bit overboard should be pretty self-explanatory. You just shouldn't be able to fire a gigantic laser beam that can atomize anything it touches.
But
why Inoki ever felt like he needed to hire the Akatsuki when he could just do this, it's a bit of a mystery to me. I know we never saw it used for anything significant aside from Inoki nearly killing Sasuke with it, but that's not really his fault. He was introduced right before the war arc, so aside from, again, Sasuke, all of his opponents were regenerating zombies who got progressively more powerful. He had to fight members of the Akatsuki, former Kage, including another user of particle style, and then finally Madara Uchiha. So I think it's safe to say that the circumstances weren't exactly ideal for him to make the best use of this nature transformation, and had we been given the opportunity to see him fight regular people, he probably would have steamrolled them. Like, all he has to do is make this box of chakra around them, and then just like that, they cease to exist. There's no setup required or anything. It's as simple.
He should have been the most OP guy ever, but it wasn't, so. Number 3. Yeah, the 8 in the gates. That was so stupid.
So you could maybe argue that the 8 gates are more fair than the last 2 entries, because to get the most out of them, you have to kill yourself. And even if you're not opening all 8 of them, opening any of them comes with some pretty serious risks. But that said, opening the 8 gates is basically all Guy knows how to do, and he's a fucking badass.
Yeah, also, just pause there. Like, seriously, the thing with the 8 gates is just, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. So we have this guy, right? Guy. Oh, we have this guy. But you know, so we learned pretty early on in Naruto that he was stronger than Kakashi, but not that much, just a little bit, at least in raw strength, from what we know. So he's Jonin level. He's not even Kage, and yes, you could say, well, Kakashi became Hokage later on, but Kakashi is barely even Kage level. So okay, let's say that, sure, Guy is Kage level. Okay. He's fighting against Madara, and it's not just Madara in his Rinnegan eyes and stuff like that and reanimated. He even have the power of the 6 paths. So he's extremely, extremely OP, stronger than everybody that we've seen before. I mean, Guy, without the 8 inner gates, would never even be able to defeat Pain. And Madara, with this, he's like a god. And then for some reason, a Jonin level person like Guy is able to open up the 8 inner gates and becomes, well, not stronger than Madara, but he's able to keep up with him. That's just stupid. That's really stupid. That's too much. Why? You should have like 1,000 ninjas that were able to use the 8 inner gates, and they would be so OP, it would be crazy. Yeah, so yeah, that's I agree with him. It's a stupid jutsu.
Well, if you happen to have anybody who can perform miracles on the fly nearby, like Naruto, for example,
that was also
then you're
stupid.
Fine. But more importantly,
seriously,
the price of death does not make up for the gargantuan power boost you receive. When Guy opened the 8th gate, he was able to do nearly lethal damage to Madara, and Madara had Yin Yang release, Wood release, and the Rinnegan.
Exactly.
And now, granted, Guy was only able to do so well against him because he had the assistance of Minato, Kakashi, and Rock Lee. But even with the help of all three of these people, nobody else would have been able to do nearly as well against Madara as Guy did. I mean, before him, Obito was tearing the entire allied shinobi forces apart. So the fact that Guy stood even a teensy, itsy-bitsy chance against Madara here is pretty impressive. Yeah. Also, I'd like to repeat that this is the only thing Guy knows how to do. He can't do anything aside from open the 8 gates and punch and kick.
That's really pretty much all he can do.
If he gave the ability to open the 8 gates to anybody like Madara or Hashirama,
oh my god, that would have been horrible.
Sakura or Tsunade, you'd have a pretty serious problem on your hands.
Yes.
If Naruto ever learned how to do it, well, then it'd be game over for anybody who tries to fight him. Could you imagine?
Why is Guy and Rock Lee the only ones who are using it? I don't get it.
Avatar, 8th gate open, Naruto's charging straight at you. That sounds horrifying.
Yes. Number 2. Sage mode? I don't know, is that...
So Sage mode is like the 8 gates, but without any of the drawbacks. Granted, the buffs provided by it aren't quite as substantial as the ones provided by, like, opening the 7th and 8th gate. But just look what it did for Kabuto. If you would have told me this guy would go on to become a major antagonist, I would have no reason to believe you. As a matter of fact, I would probably never talk to you again. But somehow, he went from this to this. Before mastering Sage mode, he was so flimsy that Naruto literally shouted at him and sent him flying across a bridge. But then after mastering Sage mode, he was able to tussle with Sasuke and Itachi at the same time while blind and almost beat them a couple times throughout the fight. As a matter of fact, Sage mode is so great that Orochimaru created a crappy bootleg version of it, called it the Curse Mark, and it still ended up being one of the most valuable tools in the arsenal of anybody who could use it. Actually, Swag, you have to leave yourself open for a really long time to enter Sage mode because you have to gather natural energy. It's not that easy. See, Minato would like to have a word with you because he's like, oh yeah, man, no, I suck at Sage mode. I'm just really bad at it. That's why I never use it. And then, like, he just goes. Also, in the war, when Naruto figures out that he can stack it on top of KCM, he's like, oh, sweet, let's try it out. And he doesn't have to go off in the corner and go gather natural energy or whatever. Just like Minato, he's just like, all right, that's it.
Yeah. I get what this means. Shadow clone? Hey, multi-shadow clone jutsu.
This jutsu might be the dumbest thing in the whole entire series. Maybe it's not as ridiculous as the Sharingan, but then again, the Sharingan doesn't let you clone yourself 2,000 times. Yes. And that's my biggest thing with this jutsu. The regular shadow clone jutsu that lets you make about a dozen at most, that's one thing, but the multi-shadow clone jutsu, like, 2,000? Are you serious? Why do you need that many? Why is the number that high? Even setting that aside, there are so many other applications for this jutsu. It can be used to significantly accelerate the process of training, and like, I mean by a lot. Naruto was able to complete multiple years worth of training in the span of a few days, maybe a week at most, because of the way shadow clones work. That's dumb. That's not even a little bit fair. That shouldn't be possible, but apparently it is. So I guess Naruto could just like walk into the Hidden Leaf's library, pick up the scrolls for every jutsu there, and within like a year or two, he'd be a master of all of them. He was also able to have his clones gather natural energy for him while he was fighting pain, so he could like constantly refill his Sage mode meter without really having to do anything. Then of course, there's the fact that he basically fought the 4th war by himself. He fought multiple Kage level opponents who were all spread out across the world at the same time, and he was able to do this all thanks to the shadow clone jutsu. For some reason, his shadow clones could also create their own shadow clones, which really wasn't necessary. Kishimoto, you didn't have to let him do that. He was already really, really strong, and he would have been fine without clones that could make their own clones, and those clones could probably also make clones of their own. By the end of the series, one of Naruto's shadow clones could probably wipe out all life on Earth aside from Sasuke by itself. And even if that's not the case, he'd still have 1,999 of them sitting on the sidelines.
Yes. Alright, cool. I guess that's it. Yeah, multi-shadow clone jutsu. It's extremely OP. And yes, you could say, well, Naruto is the only one who can use it. Well, Naruto is already super overpowered, so you don't need to give him that extra of having like 3,000 versions of him. And like Swagkage said, probably one of his clones could at the end of the series pretty much wipe out the whole Earth. And that's just, it's insane. It's really insane. So yeah, I was right about some of those that he brought up. He didn't mention the reanimation jutsu, which I found to be quite strange, to be honest, because that is that is such an OP jutsu that it's just, that is insane, to be honest. It's insane. But yeah, I like his videos. They're fun to watch. So if you'd like to check out some more, or you want me to check out some more Swagkage, then leave a suggestion down in the comment section below. I would appreciate it a lot. It might take a while, you know, if you want me to check out it earlier or a specific video, then you can become a Patreon, and you don't have to wait that long. Okay, guys. A big shout out to my amazing patrons, of course, before we end this video. A big shout out to my amazing patrons. Thank you so much, guys, for the support. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon, thumbs up, and all that kind of jazz. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.